You're not lazy, you're not broken. You're just trapped in a system designed to keep you addicted, and it's time to break free. Hi everyone, welcome back to LMJ English, where learning English becomes a journey of personal growth, insight, and transformation. If you're passionate about not just improving your English, but also improving your life, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss one of our powerful story-based lessons. Social media is addictive and dangerous. There was a time, not so long ago, when silence meant peace. A quiet morning, a moment to breathe, a slow sip of coffee while the world gently came alive. Today, silence has been replaced by notification sounds, buzzing vibrations, and the glow of screens before the sun even rises. In this modern era, one thing quietly dictates our every move: social media. What was once a tool to connect with loved ones has evolved into a digital universe where we live, laugh, compare, and sometimes quietly fall apart. The most alarming part? It's designed to be this way. Social media platforms are not just apps. They are psychological traps, expertly engineered by brilliant minds who understand human behavior better than we do ourselves. Every scroll, every sound and every notification is calculated to keep you hooked. The more time you spend, the more profit they earn. And so, they build systems, algorithms that learn what you love, what you fear, what excites you, and what breaks your heart. They don't want 10 minutes of your day, they want hours. And most of the time, they get exactly what they want. According to studies, the average person touches their phone over 2,600 times a day. That's not an exaggeration. It's a reflection of how deeply woven this habit has become. It's as if our fingers move on their own, reaching for something that promises a spark of pleasure, but often delivers a quiet emptiness. Globally, people are spending 6 to 8 hours daily glued to their screens. That's nearly 1/3 of a day, every single day. Multiply that by weeks, months, or years, and you begin to realize this isn't just a habit, it's a silent lifestyle that's replacing real life. But what's the cost of this addiction? It's subtle at first. You forget what it feels like to have a deep conversation without looking at your phone. Your attention span starts to shrink. You can't watch a full movie without checking notifications. Your to-do list grows longer. Your motivation dips and your dreams begin to feel more distant. Friends feel further away, even when they're just across the table. Relationships suffer, not because we don't care, but because our minds are always somewhere else. Our lives become a highlight reel of distractions, measured not by meaningful moments but by likes, comments, and temporary satisfaction. And then there's the deeper wound: mental health, anxiety, depression, loneliness. They don't appear suddenly. They creep in through quiet comparisons, through hours of staring at perfect lives online, through the constant noise that never lets your mind rest. Instead of looking within, we begin to look outward, for approval, for connection, for identity. But the more we search online, the more we lose ourselves. This isn't just about wasting time. It's about losing ourselves, piece by piece, notification by notification. The danger of social media addiction isn't always loud. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It distracts. It delays. And before you realize it, days have passed, months, years, and your goals, your relationships, your passions, they've been sitting silently, waiting for you to look up from your screen. So ask yourself, are you using social media or is it using you? Psychological effects. Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to stop scrolling? Even when you're tired, even when your eyes hurt, even when you know you should be doing something else? The answer isn't just about habit or boredom. The truth goes much deeper. It lies inside your brain in a tiny but powerful chemical called dopamine. This is the same chemical released when people fall in love, achieve something great, or win a big prize. It's also the very same chemical that fuels addictions to gambling, drugs, and alcohol. And now, without even realizing it, many of us are getting hooked on something far more silent: social media. Every time you receive a like, a comment, or even a new follower, your brain rewards you. It says, "Well done, here's a little joy." That tiny spike of happiness might only last for a moment, but your brain remembers it. It starts chasing that feeling, again and again. You open your phone in the middle of conversations, you refresh your feed while eating, you stay up late just to see one more post. It might feel like you're in control, but really your brain is responding to a carefully designed system, a reward loop engineered to keep you scrolling endlessly. This is not by accident. Behind your favorite platforms are teams of neuroscientists, psychologists, and behavior experts who understand the human brain with frightening precision. They know exactly how to trigger your pleasure center. They know that uncertainty, what will come next, keeps you curious. They've turned your phone into a slot machine. You pull down to refresh, hoping for something new, something exciting. And just like in a casino, sometimes you win. A funny meme, a sweet message, a photo that makes you smile. Most of the time you don't. But your brain doesn't care. It just wants more. And while you're chasing dopamine online, something else is quietly being taken from you: your ability to focus. Think about it. Can you sit through a 30-minute lesson or read a full chapter of a book without grabbing your phone? For many people, the answer is no. The brain, once trained for short bursts of stimulation, finds it hard to enjoy slower, more meaningful activities. This is why studying becomes boring. Meditation feels impossible. Even talking to someone face-to-face can feel dull. Because compared to the bright lights and fast rewards of social media, real life starts to lose its color. But there's another, even darker side to this. The same dopamine that makes you feel good also builds emotional dependency. When people like your post, you feel accepted. When no one responds, you feel ignored. Your mood begins to rise and fall based on numbers on a screen. Your self-worth becomes tied to your digital presence. A single rude comment can ruin your day. A photo that doesn't get enough likes makes you doubt your appearance. You compare your life to someone else's highlight reel, and suddenly your own journey feels small. This cycle of validation and insecurity slowly chips away at your confidence. Worst of all, that feels normal. Everyone is doing it. Everyone is scrolling. Everyone is chasing that next hit of happiness. But behind the screen, millions of people are quietly struggling, feeling anxious, unfocused, and disconnected from their own lives. Social media was meant to bring people together. Instead, it often divides us from ourselves. It teaches the brain to settle for shallow rewards instead of deep, meaningful growth. It distracts us from pain, yes, but also from healing. It entertains us but steals our ability to truly be present. Your brain is the most powerful tool you have, but if you let it be trained by platforms designed for profit, not your well-being, it becomes a slave to patterns that don't serve you. The good news? You can retrain it. But first, you have to see the truth for what it is: comparison and insecurity. Imagine opening your phone and scrolling through your favorite app. You see someone smiling in front of the Eiffel Tower, another person showing off a brand new car, someone else celebrating a promotion, and yet another posting about their perfect relationship. Their lives seem magical, so full, so joyful, so successful, and then without even realizing it, a small voice whispers in your mind, "Why isn't my life like that?" This is where the hidden poison of social media begins: comparison. In just a few seconds, you go from feeling fine to feeling not enough, not rich enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, not happy enough. But here's the dangerous truth. What you're seeing is not real life. It's a carefully crafted illusion, a filtered highlight reel designed to look perfect while hiding the pain, the flaws, and the struggle. But your brain doesn't know that. Your brain sees the photo and believes the fantasy. Most people don't. Post their bad days. They don't show the arguments, the anxiety, the stress behind that smiling selfie. They don't reveal the pressure behind the success or the emptiness behind the smiles. Instead, we see polished photos, edited videos, and moments taken out of context, all curated to impress. And as we scroll through these endless images of perfect lives, we begin to feel like our own life is falling short. This comparison doesn't just hurt, it builds insecurity, deep, invisible wounds that affect how we see ourselves every single day. Teenagers begin to hate their appearance because they don't look like the flawless influencers they follow. Young adults begin to question their value because their careers aren't as flashy. Parents feel guilt for not giving their children the same vacations or experiences they see online. And so, we begin to live in silent shame, measuring our lives against illusions. What's even worse is that we try to keep up. We start editing our own photos. We post only the good moments, hoping others will see us as happy, confident, or successful. We create a version of ourselves that isn't fully honest. And in doing so, we contribute to the same cycle that's hurting us. It's a strange paradox. We feel pressured by others' perfection, and then we try to look perfect ourselves, passing the pressure on to someone else. The result? A world where millions of people are silently suffering behind smiling screens. Anxiety rises, depression grows, confidence fades. People feel lonelier, even though they're constantly connected. We begin to chase likes instead of self-love, attention instead of authenticity. And our mental health pays the price, but it doesn't have to stay this way. The first step is awareness. The moment you realize that what you're seeing online is not the full picture, that people only share the best 1% of their lives, you begin to take your power back. You start to see the beauty in your own story, even with its imperfections. You stop comparing and you start appreciating. Social media doesn't have to be the enemy, but when we let it shape our self-worth, it becomes a mirror that only reflects what we lack, never what we truly have. And the truth is, you are already enough. You don't need a filter to prove it. Why good habits feel hard. Have you ever promised yourself, starting tomorrow I'll wake up early, go for a run, study for 2 hours and finally meditate, only to wake up, reach for your phone and scroll for an hour instead? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. The truth is, building good habits like exercising, reading, or meditating is incredibly difficult, not because we're weak or lazy, but because our brains have been rewired to resist them. And it all begins with one thing: the way we experience rewards. Let's break it down. Good habits are like planting seeds. You water them today, but you don't see the flowers bloom tomorrow. You study for hours, and there's no instant A+ on your report card. You exercise and you still feel tired. You try to meditate and your mind keeps wandering. These actions are powerful, life-changing even, but they offer delayed gratification. The benefits are slow, quiet, and often invisible. At first, they build silently and they demand patience. Now compare that to social media. You open an app, and within seconds your brain is flooded with instant pleasure. A new message, a funny video, a stream of likes on your latest post. Your brain rewards you immediately with a dose of dopamine, that powerful chemical that makes you feel good. There's no effort, no waiting. Just fast, colorful, emotional satisfaction. This is what scientists call dopamine-driven feedback loops, and social media apps are designed to exploit them. Here's the real danger. The more we indulge in these fast pleasures, the harder it becomes to enjoy slower ones. Why sit down and focus on a book when you can watch 30 entertaining videos in the same amount of time? Why push through the first painful week of workouts when you can escape into a world where someone else already looks perfect? Why struggle with silence during meditation when you can fill the space with endless noise? Your brain begins to prefer what is easy, not what is meaningful. And slowly, without knowing it, we stop choosing growth and start choosing comfort. This is why good habits feel so hard. They require effort without immediate reward. They ask us to be uncomfortable, to believe in progress we can't yet see, to fight against a mind that's used to shortcuts. And in a world where everything is one tap away, food, entertainment, attention, delayed rewards feel unnatural. But here's the beautiful truth. You can reclaim your power. Your brain is not your enemy. It's just responding to the system. You've trained it in. If you've spent years feeding it fast pleasure, of course slow growth will feel frustrating. But every time you choose to resist the scroll and instead pick up a book, take a walk, or sit quietly with your thoughts, you're retraining your mind. You're saying, I'm not here for the quick fix. I'm here for the real change. Path to becoming your best self is not paved with instant gratification. It's paved with small, invisible victories. The days when you studied, even though you didn't feel smart. The mornings you ran, even when you were tired. The nights you journaled instead of scrolling. These moments don't always feel exciting, but they are the ones that shape your character. So next time you find yourself tempted to pick the easy path, pause, breathe, and remind yourself it's not supposed to feel easy, because it's supposed to matter. It's not just you, it's by design. Picture this. You're lying in bed, phone in hand, telling yourself, just 5 more minutes. But those 5 minutes turn into 30, then an hour, and before you know it, the night has slipped through your fingers. Sound familiar? You're not alone, and more importantly, you're not weak, you're not lazy, you're not lacking willpower. What you're up against is not just a bad habit. It's a perfectly engineered system built to make you feel powerless. Behind every social media platform is an invisible army of some of the smartest minds in the world. Software engineers, neuroscientists, behavioral psychologists, and data analysts. Their job? To make sure you keep watching, keep scrolling, and keep coming back. They're not trying to help you grow, they're trying to monetize your attention. Because in the world of digital business, your time isn't just valuable, it's profitable. The longer you stay online, the more ads you see, and the more money these platforms make. This isn't a conspiracy, it's business. Ruthless, intelligent, and highly effective business. Every feature on your favorite app has a purpose. That little red notification bubble, it's red because it creates urgency. The infinite scroll, designed so you never reach the bottom, because if there's no end, there's no reason to stop. The autoplay function, it removes your choice, slipping you into the next video before you even blink. Even the sound design, the dings, the pings, the buzz of a like, was carefully tested to trigger a dopamine response, making your brain crave more. You see, algorithms are not neutral. They are constantly learning from you, watching what you pause on, what you like, what you ignore. They adapt, they evolve, and they create a digital mirror of your desires, fears, and curiosity, feeding it back to you with precision. And you, unknowingly, begin to surrender your time, your focus, and eventually, your sense of control. The scariest part? It feels normal. Millions of people are scrolling just like you. Some laugh, some cry, some feel inspired. But underneath it all, most feel stuck. The day disappears, productivity fades, and motivation melts into the background noise of endless content. You tell yourself you'll stop, but you don't. And again, you blame yourself. But how can you win a game where the rules are rigged against you? These platforms don't want you to spend 10 minutes a day. They want you for hours. Every hour you give them is an hour you didn't give to your dreams, your health, your relationships, or your peace of mind. The time you spend making someone else's platform successful is time you're not spending building your own life. But this truth isn't here to shame you. It's here to wake you up. Because once you realize the system is built this way on purpose, you begin to understand that breaking free requires more than discipline. It requires awareness. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "Why is this designed to be so hard to stop?" And once you start asking those questions, you begin to take your power back. You don't have to throw your phone away or disappear from the internet forever, but you can learn to use these tools instead of being used by them. You can set boundaries. You can pause before you scroll. You can choose silence over noise. You can remember that your attention is a currency, more valuable than gold in the digital world. And you get to decide where to spend it. So next time you find yourself reaching for your phone without thinking, take a moment to remember. This was designed to happen. But now that you know the design, you can choose to rise above it. You are not the product. You are the person. And your life is worth more than any algorithm will ever understand. Real-life examples. It's easy to believe that social media addiction only affects ordinary people, those trying to find their way, those searching for purpose or connection. But the truth is, no one is immune, not the rich, not the famous, not even those who seem to have everything. In fact, some of the most successful, admired, and followed individuals in the world have fallen into the same trap, and their stories remind us that addiction to social media is not about status. It's about being human. Take, for example, Tom Holland, the beloved actor known for his role as Spider-Man. Young, talented, successful, with millions of fans across the globe, he seemed to have a life many people could only dream of. But behind the camera, he was struggling. In a rare and honest moment during an interview, Tom admitted that he found himself completely obsessed with social media. Every time he posted something, he couldn't stop checking his phone. How many likes did it get? Who commented? What are people saying about me? These questions consumed him. His mind was no longer at peace. It was caught in a constant loop of digital validation and self-doubt. What was meant to be a platform to connect with fans became a source of anxiety, insecurity, and distraction. Eventually, he made a bold decision. He deleted social media from his phone. Not because he didn't care about his fans, but because he realized that his mental health mattered more. And that kind of courage? That's what real strength looks like. Tom's story is powerful because it breaks the illusion. We often look at celebrities and influencers as people who have it all together, but in reality, they face the same emotional battles we do, sometimes even more intensely, because their lives are constantly on display. They feel the pressure to perform, to stay relevant, to appear perfect in a world where everyone is watching. And just like the rest of us, they can lose themselves in the noise. And Tom isn't the only one. Other celebrities, from singers and actors to athletes and entrepreneurs, have spoken out about their struggles. Some have stepped away from social media altogether. Others have taken long breaks to reconnect with real life. Why? Because despite all their fame, they still crave peace, clarity, and freedom, the very things that social media often takes away. These stories remind us of something important. Success doesn't protect you from social media's grip. In fact, the more visible your life becomes, the more overwhelming the digital world can feel. But if people like Tom Holland, with all the spotlight and expectations, can admit they're struggling and take action, so can you. You don't need to wait until you feel broken. You don't need millions of followers to matter. You simply need the courage to say, my mental health, my focus, and my real life are more important than likes on a screen. Because in the end, it's not about being famous online. It's about being whole in real life. Solutions to break free. Understanding the problem is only half the battle. Now comes the part that truly matters. Action. Escaping the grip of social media is not about deleting every app forever or becoming a digital hermit. It's about taking back control bit by bit, choice by choice, moment by moment. The truth is, change doesn't happen overnight. But it does happen the moment you decide that your life, your goals, your peace, and your presence matter more than the endless scroll. So if you're ready to take that step, here are 7 powerful actions you can start today. Step 1. Realize it's a trap. Before any real change can happen, you have to wake up to the reality of what you're dealing with. Social media is not just a fun distraction. It's a carefully designed digital trap, engineered by experts to hold your attention for as long as possible. They don't want your 10 minutes. They want your hours. The more you scroll, the more ads you see. The more you engage, the more data they collect. It's your time, your focus, your mental clarity that's being sold. Once you see this clearly, it becomes impossible to unsee. You begin to question, am I choosing to open this app, or am I being pulled in like a puppet on a string? Real change starts with honesty. Be brave enough to face it. Step 2. Turn off notifications. Every beep, buzz, and badge is a trigger, a digital whisper calling your name, pulling you back in. It breaks your concentration, hijacks your train of thought, and steals your ability to stay present. You may think a quick glance won't hurt, but research shows that after a single interruption, it can take up to 23 minutes to return to deep focus. So do yourself a powerful favor. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Let silence be your shield. Let peace be your default. You don't need to be notified every time someone likes a post or a new video is uploaded. What you need is space to breathe. Step 3. Use the 5-second rule before opening an app. Most of the time, we don't even realize when we're opening social media. It happens on autopilot. That's where the 5-second rule becomes your secret weapon. The next time your fingers start moving toward Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, pause. Count backward 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then ask yourself, why am I opening this right now? Am I bored, avoiding something, or is this just a reflex? That brief moment of awareness puts you back in control. It interrupts the pattern. And, with repetition, it becomes a habit, one that favors mindfulness over mindlessness. Step 4. Set time limits and use app blockers. Let's be real, our days are short, and life is too precious to spend 6 or 7 hours a day scrolling. That's over 2,000 hours a year, enough time to learn a language, start a side business, travel, or transform your health. So set strict boundaries. Use built-in tools like screen time or third-party apps to limit usage. Decide how much time social media deserves from you, not how much it demands. Maybe 30 minutes a day, maybe 15. Once you reach the limit, stop. Block the app. Give yourself the gift of intention, because your attention is your most valuable currency. Step 5. Replace scrolling with real-life activities. Nature hates a vacuum, and so does your brain. When you remove one habit, you must replace it with something better. Don't just say no to your phone, say yes to life. Yes to reading. Yes to walking under the sky. Yes to writing, painting, learning, laughing, building, resting. Fill your schedule with real activities that nourish your soul and move you forward. Spend time with people. Have conversations. Sit in silence. Take up that hobby you forgot about. The more life you experience offline, the less you'll need a screen to feel alive. Step 6. Make your phone less attractive. The colors, the icons, the smooth swipes. Your phone is designed to seduce your brain with visual excitement. So it's time to fight back by making your device boring on purpose. Set your display to grayscale. Move all social media apps into a hidden folder far from your home screen. Log out after every use. Disable autoplay. Every extra step you take to reach the app gives you a chance to rethink. These may seem like small tricks, but they add up. Over time, they build a wall between impulse and action, and that space is where freedom begins. Step 7. Try a 7-day social media detox. If you truly want to reset your mind and see how deep this addiction runs, take a bold leap. A 7-day total detox. Delete every social media app from your phone. For 1 week, live life as if the internet doesn't know you exist. In the first few days, you might feel restless. You might reach for your phone out of habit. But then, something shifts. You sleep better. Think more clearly. You notice the beauty in silence, the depth in conversations, the joy in being fully present. You reclaim your mornings, you take back your nights, and most importantly, you begin to remember who you were before the noise took over. Social media was never meant to replace your reality. But if you're not careful, it quietly becomes your reality. And while the apps were designed to keep you addicted, you were born to be free. You don't need permission to take your life back. You just need to begin. Final message. Time is precious. There is one resource in life that, once spent, can never be returned. Not money, not energy, not even love. It's time, the invisible currency of our existence. Every second that passes is a silent step toward the future. And how you use those seconds will shape everything, your success, your growth, your memories, your legacy. Social media doesn't just steal your time, it steals your future. Every hour spent scrolling is an hour not spent building, not spent Dreaming not spent becoming the version of yourself you've always wanted to be. And while those hours may seem small in the moment, they add up, slowly, quietly, until one day you look up and wonder where your weeks, your months, your years have gone. To make this real, let's look at two friends, Alex and Ryan. They started at the same place, same age, same background, same big dreams. But their choices took them in very different directions. Alex lived through his phone. Social media was his comfort, his entertainment, his escape. He told himself he'd get serious later. But later never came. 5 years went by, and Alex was still in the same spot. Same job, same habits, same dreams, still waiting to begin. Ryan, on the other hand, chose differently. He saw how social media was eating his time and attention, so he set boundaries. He limited his screen time. He filled his life with learning, building, connecting with real people, and doing things that mattered. 5 years later, Ryan had started his own business, traveled to new countries, grown emotionally, and become the kind of person he once only admired from a distance. Same beginnings, radically different endings. Why? Not because Ryan was more talented, but because he respected his time. And now the question turns to you. How are you spending your time? Are you trading your hours for quick laughs, empty entertainment, and endless scrolling? Or are you investing in something real, something lasting? Because time is not a toy. It is a gift. Every single day you are given 24 hours, that's 1,240 minutes, 86,400 seconds. And once they pass, they're gone forever. You can't buy them back. You can't rewind. You can only choose how to use the ones you have right now. Close your eyes for just a moment and imagine this. What if today were your last? Would you be proud of how you spent it? Would you be glad you checked Instagram one more time? Would those TikToks matter? Would those likes mean anything? Or would you wish you had written that book, taken that class, had that conversation, gone for that walk, loved harder, lived deeper, started something that truly mattered? The choice is yours. It always has been. You can continue giving your time away to distractions, or you can take it back and use it to build the life you truly want. Because in the end, it's not about how much time you have, it's about how deeply you lived it. If this story touched you or opened your eyes, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support gives us the motivation to keep bringing more meaningful, life-changing stories to this channel. Here are 20 key vocabulary words and phrases that are repeated and thematically important throughout the entire story set, along with clear explanations in English. Addiction, a strong, often harmful need to keep doing something. In this case, the uncontrollable urge to use social media even when it's damaging your life. Dopamine, a brain chemical that creates feelings of pleasure and reward. It's triggered by likes, comments, and notifications, making social media addictive. Instant gratification, the desire to experience pleasure or fulfillment immediately, without delay. Social media provides this through quick entertainment or validation. Distraction, something that takes your attention away from what you should be doing. Social media is a major source of distraction from real-life goals. Attention span, the length of time a person can concentrate without becoming distracted. Social media shortens this, making it harder to focus. Comparison, looking at others and measuring yourself against them, often leads to insecurity when people see perfect lives online. Validation, the feeling of being accepted or approved by others. Many people rely on likes and comments for emotional validation. Self-worth, how much you value yourself, often damaged when social media causes people to compare their real lives to others' filtered ones. Mindless scrolling, the act of browsing content without purpose or awareness, a common habit that wastes hours of time. Digital trap, a system or pattern designed to keep you hooked. Social media platforms are digital traps created to capture and hold your attention. Mental health, the state of your emotional and psychological well-being, deeply affected by overuse of social media. Autopilot behavior, doing something without thinking, almost automatically. Many people open apps without realizing they're doing it. Delayed gratification, the ability to wait for a reward. This is what good habits offer, unlike the instant pleasure of social media. Algorithm, a system used by social media platforms to decide what content to show you based on your behavior. It learns how to keep you engaged longer. Screen time, the amount of time spent looking at devices like phones or computers. Excessive screen time is linked to poor focus and productivity. Detox, a period of time when someone avoids something harmful to reset their body or mind. A social media detox helps reset your mental clarity. Focus, the ability to concentrate fully on a task, something that's weakened by constant digital interruptions. Productivity, how effectively you use your time and energy to achieve goals, often reduced when too much time is spent online. Real-life connection, meaningful interactions with people in person, something that often fades when most communication happens through screens. Discipline, the ability to control your actions and stick to your goals, essential for breaking free from social media addiction and forming better habits.